have I got some great info for you all today. I am Charles Talbert, a proud student here at the University of Akron. I am currently a senior seeking my bachelor's degree in communication/media studies. Recently, I was afforded some important information on ethical and social media use, as well as personal branding. And I am here to share my knowledge with you. According to the Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, ethics is defined as a set of moral principles, a theory or system of moral values. However, there are several ways to base one's ethical approach, especially when it comes to today's use of social media. First off, there are some serious and obvious no-nos when it comes to the use of the internet. It is always a bad idea to ever engage in cyberbullying anyone. According to the Oxford Dictionary, cyberbullying is the act of using messages on social media, emails, or text to frighten or upset someone. So before sending a message, take a second and stop and think how you would feel if you received that same message from someone else. Next on the list is cyber stalking. Cyber stalking can be defined as the use of technology to make someone else afraid or concerned about their safety. If someone you may have interest in turns down your invitation for a relationship, do not resort to cyberbullying as a way to get revenge. And last but not least, before we get to personal brand building, never ever infringe on someone's copyright. We are all guilty of finding a cool picture or quote online and wanting to use it for ourselves, either in a social media post or maybe a blog entry. It's important to remember that someone took their time to create the image that you like, or they actually sat down and manufactured the words which you adore. Remember, always give credit to the original author. Think back, in college, it was a requirement to cite your sources. So be courteous and do the same thing in the real world. As far as images go, there are ways to find out if an image is usable. You can do this by visiting creativecommons.org and doing a search just to be safe. Remember, ethics is an important trait that should guide everyone's decision making. Now, whether that's virtue ethics or the Kantian perspective, or maybe you use the utilitarian outlook, which entails minimizing pain for the most people. Whatever you choose as your guide, remember to never cyberbully, never cyberstalk, and never infringe on someone's copyright. Albert Einstein once said, "Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it." Now, without further ado, let's shift our focus to a more vivacious accounts. And I am speaking of personal brand building. Now, before we get started, I want to state a quick disclaimer. This pivotal information that I am about to give you may cause you and or your business to reach unheard of heights. This advice that you are about to receive will open doors that you thought were once reserved only for the elite. And by following these instructions, you will have a plethora of opportunities to reach pinnacles and peaks that have always seemed so elusive. Following these simple steps, yet necessary, may prove to be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Have you ever thought about a time when you would like to get noticed? Or maybe you've thought, I would like to attract more positive outcomes in my life. Well, in order to do this, you need passion. One of the things that people first notice about you is your passion for what you're doing. No, you don't have to be over the top in a condescending manner, but what I mean is the true love for what you are saying. Whether that's speaking to a friend about an idea you have, or a Twitter post you are in the process of writing. Others will feast off of your excitement. And if you're not sure of your passion, do yourself a favor and take some time to discover what truly brings you joy. Moving on to step 2, you must be bold. No one likes a wishy-washy person. And if you honestly believe in what you're saying, don't be hesitant about sharing your information. We've all heard the saying that nobody likes a show-off, or no one likes a know-it-all. Or what about you have to be humble? And I would agree. Being humble is what keeps us grounded. But why can't we be humble and bold? One of the common misconceptions is that some people mistake confidence with cockiness. My advice is to remain focused on a task at hand, and as long as you don't belittle others, there's nothing wrong with self-promotion while remaining bold. Moving along to the third step, which is telling your story. Your personal touch is what makes you unique. And don't worry, no two people are alike. So even if you think your audience may have heard similar stories to yours, remember, your version is new to them. Now, don't go up to people sounding like you're giving an elevator pitch. No one wants to hear that. But it is okay to practice hammering home the key facts. And once you do that, you will realize just how different your story truly is. Now on to step 4, which may be the most vital, and that is to build relationships. You see, a lot of people get so used to staying within the same circle of friends, they forget there is an entire world out there waiting to be explored. New relationships lead to untapped opportunities. And those opportunities are, in fact, people who haven't heard your story. You see how it all goes hand in hand? Building trusting relationships is critical in the evolution of your brand. And finally, the last and final step is to take action. This is your moment to utilize all the previous steps and put them to work. All the intel you soaked up in this video is what will allow you and your brand to shine. Use these confidential details to see that your brand outshines the competition. Before I exit, I want to reiterate the main ways to build your brand. First, you must discover your passion. Second, remember to always be bold. Third, don't be afraid to tell your story. Fourth, create fruitful relationships. And fifth, it is time to take action. The goal of brand building is to have name recognition. You do this by being rememberable. And by being rememberable, you create brand loyalty. Now is the time to become legendary. And a great way to do so is by following these steps laid out before you. Now, a great quote that I like is in the book Branding Yourself, 3rd edition, by authors Eric Deckers and Kyle Lacey. And I quote, "If you hit a rock with a hammer 1,000 times, it wasn't the 1,000th blow that broke it. It was the 999 that came before it." Well, I am Charles Talbert, and this has been a pleasure to speak with you all today.